You just tuned in to the Love and Marriage Show with Harold and Delanca live.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Harold and Delonica with Love and Marriage, and today I am going to be interviewing someone very, very special, and that is that lady. Hold up, that lady does not need an introduction. Everybody knows who she is, and that lady of the hour is no other than my wife, Delonica L. McDonald.
Oh my goodness, babe. Thank you. I'm excited about today's show, though. I really am. Thank you for that introduction. That was
Hmm.
kind of, you just have the sexiest voice.
Wow. See, she always do
Yeah,
that.
no, but it's the
Always.
truth. It is the truth. I'm telling the truth and
Nothing
nothing
but
but
the
the
truth,
truth.
so help you God. Yeah.
But hey, let's
Mm.
jump right
Yeah.
in.
So on today, we wanted to do this interview in tribute to no other than this young lady that we've been knowing for uh, a long time. Her name is Pastor Ella, known as Raven Moore. And so today, this tribute goes out to you. Much love to Raven, Pastor
Mm-hmm.
Raven. But we wanted to do this interview. Uh, guess how did the boss lady? Well, I don't call her the boss lady, but that's the name that she came up with.
I,
Well, what?
I did not,
What?
babe. People just call me
No,
that.
oh, they do? Oh, I
Yes.
don't do that. You my wife, lady, not the boss lady. But anyway, we wanted to talk about today how you met me. How did we come in contact? And so I guess the first question will be is how did you meet Mr. Ray? Because see, that was my name
Yeah.
back then,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ray. My name is Harold Ray
Right.
McDonald. But when I started my business and I was driving the daycare van for our family business, they called the little kids would call me Mr.
Mr.
Ray.
Ray.
So, so how did you,
Mm.
Miss uh, the boss lady? How did you meet Mr. Ray?
Oh my. So I have to back up so I could tell the full story because this is widely requested, and I don't know why after all these years I have not talked about like how did I meet him? How did I get married? How did I go from single to being married, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like I was at a place where I was thinking it was just impossible for me to get married. But let me take y'all through the steps really quick because I know we got a short period of time on here. But number one, I had to forgive. That is I had to get myself ready to be married. I had to get myself ready to be noticed by Mr. Ray
Mm-hmm.
and be in a place where I was um, in his presence, right? So one of the things that I needed to do was forgive. I really had to forgive old loves in my life and people who I felt that could have been there for me, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case was, I had to let go of the past, right? I
Okay.
had to forgive and release.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two was once I walked through forgiveness, forgiving people in my past, I had to begin to build myself. I remember I got a call from my father, and he was crying, and he said, I've been the woman I love the most, I can never be with again. And I was like, normally I would have, responded in a not so much of a positive way
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like my dad had made a lot of mistakes, but at that time in his life. But then it didn't hit me that way. It hit me funny. It hit me
Mm-hmm.
different. When my father, to hear my father cry and say, the woman that I love the most, I can never be with again. So I thought about this could be me. 18 years from now, I could be calling my oldest child and I could be saying, the man I love the most I could never be with
Mhm.
because I couldn't get my stuff together. I couldn't be a lady of character. I couldn't be a woman who knew how to talk to her man.
Mhm.
Like I said, that I got to get myself together. I have to learn how to talk. I have to learn how to not front on a man and how to
Mm.
call him out and get upset and just explode.
So was that something that you normally done?
No, I was very
Mhm.
explosive. Like if you hurt me, I felt like I had a
That's
green
what I'm saying.
card.
That you had, that was something that you would do.
Yes,
Just go off.
just go
Yeah.
off, just go from 0 to 100, like
Mhm.
super fast. And it was because I've talked about this on other previous videos that we've done, but
Mhm.
it was just because I didn't like to feel pain. And
Mhm.
because I didn't like to feel pain, then I would go right to anger
Mhm.
because then I don't have to feel the pain. Instead of saying, babe, you hurt me or that hurt my feelings,
Mhm.
I couldn't do that at the time. So I had to learn how to communicate.
Mm.
I had to learn that it's not okay that when I get upset, you may have offended me as my significant other, but it's not okay to front you off in front of people.
So all this was way before you met me.
Not way before, just a
Mm.
little bit before
Okay, well, a little
actually.
bit before you met me.
I did. I
You had
started
to.
this whole journey
Mm.
of building myself as a lady of character in preparation of looking like a wife.
Mm.
Because the way my character was prior, I didn't look like a
Mhm.
woman that a man would want to marry.
Mhm.
Yes, I had the looks,
Mhm.
but I didn't have the character.
Mm.
I didn't have the
Wow, you
voice.
can look like a wife but not have the character of a wife.
You could be cute.
Uh-huh.
You could be cute.
Yeah.
You could be cute and sassy and whatever else, but not have the character of a wife or a lady that a man say, hey, I want to live the rest of my life with her. I cannot afford to live without her. You could be the woman that has a beautiful body, a beautiful face, and then you have a horrible character, and he is trying to figure out how do I get away?
Mhm.
Your looks captured me, and I just didn't want to be that anymore. I was that girl where my looks captured a man, but I couldn't keep him.
Okay.
I couldn't keep him because my character wasn't.
So basically, before we even met, because I guess I asked the question, how did you meet?
Absolutely.
So we had to go back prior to you meeting me
Yes.
and how you was preparing yourself
Yes.
to be a wife, not knowing that
Mm.
it would be Mr. Ray.
Oh my goodness, not
Mhm.
at all. Like I had zero idea, right? And then I kept trying to leave. So, and when I mean leave, is leave the state, right? So I would have missed you if I would have left too soon. So sometimes we're running and we don't settle ourselves down to get in the word. Like I really did, like start zeroing my prayer life. I started changing the way I prayed,
Mhm.
and I started talking to God more about like, Lord, help me to change because really, to be quite honest, the lady that I wanted to develop into, I never seen this kind of wife before.
Hmm. So you seen in a vision how you wanted to be as a wife.
As a wife, yes.
Wow.
Yes. hmm
Wow.
But I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and so
What you mean you didn't see it? Because
right. So
this is something that you seen in a vision, but you didn't see it.
I didn't see no one as an example for
Oh,
me.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't look and say, well, I could see like several different women where it was something that each one of the women had that I wanted a piece of their character or how they navigated in their marriage. But I didn't see that fully in one woman.
Wow.
Yes, so I was like, I had to start talking to the Lord. And then I had a bump on the head because my brother, Buddy, he had told his significant other at the time, stop listening to D.
Mhm.
Because D gonna have you sitting at home by yourself on every holiday. And I remember thinking like, I was offended. I was like, I know he didn't say that. Like, did he, what did he? He said, what? But then when it just sat on me, it wouldn't leave me.
Mhm.
And I kept thinking about what Buddy said, like, if you keep listening to D, she gonna have you at home on every holiday just like her. She gonna be by herself. You gonna be by yourself too. And I thought about it. I said I am quick to tell a guy off. Like as soon as you cross boundaries with me, I don't even talk to you. I just go to a level 10.
That's pretty interesting because I think that that's where most of relationships are people are moving to is being disrespectful to men, being disrespectful to their husband. It's a norm.
Yes.
It's a norm. So yeah, that's pretty interesting how you was developing into this woman or this wife that you wanted to be,
Yes.
and making the changes that you knew that you needed to make to be with that person that you that God will put you with.
And it was something because, babe, I really did not like have it in my head that you know what I'm gonna change so I get this man. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was just that I wanted to be a better
Ooh,
person.
I like what you said. You said you wasn't trying to change just to get a man.
No.
And I think that that's very vital in relationship because most people will change to get the man or the woman, but then switch up when they get that person and then wonder why their relationship is going to the wayside, or they wonder why it's not working out because you did it. Your intentions was wrong.
That's so good. That's so good. And that's where I was just like, no, I just want to be a better lady, right? I remember Newell. Newell, shout out to you if you ever tune in and get on Facebook. But Newell was I worked with him at the prison, and I remember he said, D, don't God ever challenge you and convict you at how you talk to men?
That's amazing because we always need someone who challenges us.
Yes.
Who is challenging you? Who is who's trying to challenge you to go to that next level? You need mentors and you need people who can push you to be better.
And who can see you.
Who can see you and don't be scared to say something to you.
Yes, exactly right. And Noah wasn't scared. He told me, he said, D, you really hard on guys. Like, you just cut them. And he was like, God don't convict you of that. And I was thinking, like, God convict me. I mean, I'm not cussing at them. I don't use derogatory language. But I am, like, straight to the point. It is what it is. It's just for what they made. Like, I had a slew of words that I would use in saying, like, hey, hey, you knocked on my door. It behooved me to answer it. So and even little things like, for an example, I remember guys approaching me, and I would look at them and I'd be like, why are you approaching me? Like, my attitude was horrible, and I'm almost ashamed to say this, but my attitude was horrible. Like, I would think I'm in a brand new car. I have a good paying job, which I didn't start off like that. I had to work up to all of this, right? But I just, why are you approaching me? Why are you talking to me? You could look at me and tell that you're not the kind of guy I would talk to. I didn't have to be that raw, but that's what I would do. I would just be that raw. And he just said, God has to be convicting you about how you cut these guys in the throat like this and think it's okay. And so I pondered on that. I pondered on what my brother said. And then I'm talking to God. And I'm like, God, I really do want to be married. I'm tired of making decisions by myself. I'm tired of being so strong. I'm tired of taking out the trash. I'm just tired of doing all the man stuff in the house. But I got to be more of a lady. I have to be more of that woman of God that God will smile about. That I make God happy when he looks at me or when he hears my name, And so I said I have to just build my character. So I went, got a job, a better job. And when I got right before I got a better job, well, I actually felt like I needed to, make sure I leveled up on how I presented myself. So that was another thing I worked on, is like my new hairstyle and it wasn't something that I was doing this for a particular guy. It was just that I wanted to level
To
up.
develop
So,
yourself.
right, to
To
develop
make,
myself.
yeah.
Because a lot of times we say, why are you talking to me like that? And you don't realize you present yourself like that. So that I wanted to make sure that I was presenting myself the way I wanted to be handled, the way I wanted to be talked to, the way I wanted encounters to happen. But if I wasn't looking like that, you know, what could I expect from that man? So I began, so finding this leveling up, having this new hairstyle. I'm about to get this new career in the prison. And I found a new hairdresser. And my new hairdresser was that one and only Raven,
Wow.
Ella Raven Dorch. So
Right.
Rancher Dorch.
Okay.
So more. So at that time, that's what her name was. And so I began to go to Raven, and I remember now that by this time I already have the job in the prison, and I'm working, and I'm just building myself, you guys. Like, I'm not out here trying to go to the club. I really wasn't. I wasn't out there in the street. I'm a mother at this time. So, and I'm in church. And so sometimes people would tell you, well, you got to go out, you got to do this, you got to do that. But I just really wanted to say, okay, what do I really want my life to look like in my daughter's eyes? And what do I want my life to look like for my parents when my parents see me? Would they be proud of when they talk about Delonica? What would they say? And so I dived into the community and just gave back to the community. I started building my community relationships, doing my part, seeing how I can help people, how I can serve people, and how I could be a blessing to others. And then I went to work, and I changed my attitude towards the men. I changed my attitude towards my brother. Like, even though he was my baby brother, I began to talk to him differently.
Wow, this is really good because a lot of people don't develop themselves around the people that's around them.
Around them already.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's really good.
Well, that's what I felt like I heard the Lord say is, you know, work on how I treat the men around me and the people around me. And so that's what I began to do is work on how I treated my baby brother. And just because he's my baby brother, not talk to him sideways, you know, to talk to him with respect. And admire some of the good things and qualities that he is doing. And so that's what I began to do. Well, Raven was transitioning as well. And she asked me, she said, well, you know, what do you think about me going to work at this barbershop? And it's the owner is Mr. Ray, and he's a Christian. And she said, Dee, I think you will like him because his environment is nice.
And what year was this?
This was in 1997.
Yes, 1997 was the year that I opened my new barbershop. March of, I think it was, the day was 07, March 7th.
Wow.
Of 1997.
Wow, and it's so amazing because that's the same year I started working at the prison.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, see, that's something I didn't remember that.
Same month, same year. I actually got out of training actually by
I think
March.
we talked about it, but
Right?
you know.
So, yeah. So I told her when she told me that this was a different environment, because I also wanted to be careful about where I showed up at. I didn't want to show up anywhere where it will, you know, put blotches on my reputation or anything, or have me out there. You know, I was working at the prison. I just needed to make sure I was in the right place. And she told me your shop was in the right place. So.
Oh, that's good. Hey, for those who are just tuning in, you are listening to the Love and Marriage Show with Harold and Delonica. And this is an interview with the boss lady on how she met and how she got with Mr. Ray, which is me, you know. But so please share this video or like to anyone who you think need to hear this, because this is really good, because you're telling me how you developed before we even met each other.
Yes. And that's the thing, like I remember serving Raven, like when I would go to her home and get my hair done, I would always try to be considerate of her. This was part of my makeover, my character makeover, and as just a woman of God. So I would make sure anybody I'm around, I try to take care of them, without expecting anything back. And so I will always offer. I think about how she worked so many long hours. She was a mommy, and I will always just, what can I get for you? What can I do? Would you like for me to go somewhere and get you something to eat? And I would do that. So I was used to serving her like that, and not just her, but anyone around me. But
So she asked you how you felt
yes,
about coming down to.
yes,
Why would she ask you? I mean, what
yeah.
was so special about you?
I just think, I really don't know. I never asked the Raven, but I did think it was an honor for her to want my thoughts and want to know, because she did know that I did not like the barbershop atmosphere. And so, or the salon, even the salon atmosphere. I just wanted somewhere private where I felt like I can, come and do my work or something and just get my hair done and relax and leave. But she did. She asked me, and I told her I thought it would be wonderful, because she told me about how this man plays Christian music. He plays Bishop T.D. Jakes in his shop, and he just keeps a great environment. So I was like, I think it would be wonderful. And so I came, and after she started working for you, and when I met you, I was taken by surprise to know that you was the owner that she was telling me about. And so
And we really hit it off, but we was just really just strictly friends.
we was strictly friends.
Like
I
I
like
wasn't even not really a friend. It was just like a sister and brother kind of thing,
it
you
really
know.
was, and I coined you as my mentor. I never told you that
I
at
never
that
knew
time,
that.
but I looked up to you as a mentor because you was quantum leaps ahead of me. And so, like, I just was trying to make it off probation. You was owning your business. Like, I was like, I can't even see having a business right now. I just want to get off probation at my job. And then you had a house already that you owned, and you're looking into owning more property. I'm just trying to get a townhouse or a condo, and that would be good for me. Like, you just was quantum leaps ahead of me. But Raven, she always talked about you. She always said how amazing you was as a man, as a person, just how you benefited our community, and which I saw it, just seeing the billboards of you. So I would see what Raven would talk about concerning you. And I thought, wow, if I got married, like, that would be the kind of husband that I would want. And I remember, like, doing for you the same thing I did for Raven. Like, I would, no strings attached. It wasn't flirty. That was not the case at all. I really just liked having a great conversation, because you would talk to me about God, you would talk to me about faith, and I was a baby Christian at that time, just kind of re-engaging back in my walk with God. And here you are, like, just encouraging me, just speaking life into me, like, you can do it, you're doing something amazing working at the prison, and you can, you just encouraged me. That's all you did. You wasn't flirting with me at all, never flirted with me. And I love that about you. It really made me receive from you, because you did not flirt with me, not one time. And so everything Raven has said about you, you was like 10 notches more than that. And so I was very, very impressed. But I don't know what your take was like until we talked, when you saw me first come in.
I would, when you would come into the barber shop, you would always be engulfed into your work, into your books, and you will always have your head down. And but when I got to really know you, I was just, hey, Miss D,
Yes.
hey, Miss D, because I was always happy to see my customers. I will always engage with my customers who will come into the barbershop. But it was something special about you, because it was like you was a go-getter. You was working for Mad Dads, I believe. You was doing work in the community with Mad Dads, and that was very impressive to me. then you was working for the state, as working in the prison, and that was amazing because I can see myself working in the prison, and that was amazing to me. So, and then how you carried yourself as a lady, you carried yourself with so much pride and so much elegance that it was really amazing to me because I haven't seen anybody who walked like a lady, who talks like a lady, who just move like a lady. How you move and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You move like a lady, and that was very impressive to me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was something that I remember we talked about like later, like I don't know how long later, but I remember offering to get you something to eat like I did Raven. And you were like, I was shocked by that, like that you would offer to get me something to eat.
Hmm.
And
I offer you your money
your money
back.
back. And I
Hey.
said, oh no, because I was just giving. That's what I did. That wasn't nothing new. I wasn't trying to, get your attention or anything. I was just trying to make sure if I did it for one, I did it for both of
But
you
you would do
guys.
it for everybody
Yeah,
in the
just
shop.
take a list of what everybody wanted and go get it. And I'm saying that part to say that, take notice of how you treat other people. And for young
Mm.
men out there, we tell our sons this now. Like, watch how she treats others around her.
Hmm.
Watch how she talks to other people around her. Watch how she take care of people. How she interacts with her father. How she interacts with her family, friends, people even she don't like.
Hmm.
And we'll talk about that on part two because we're gonna
Hmm.
have a part two of talking about this after I said I do.
Yes. Yes.
So, but this is really good. So this is the three things that I would say, or maybe four, is one is forgiveness.
Okay.
Like I had to let go of the past and move forward. Stop looking back and trying to drive forward. And then number two was building my character as a lady. And then
Mm.
for me, it was important to build my character as a woman of God. I wanted God to be proud of me as a lady.
Hmm.
And then in that, I can break that down as far as my communication, how I treated the men around me. But that is number three. It's just watching how you treat others around you,
Hmm.
being very particular about how you talk to the men around you, how you treat them. How do the men around you act? How are your uncles responding to you?
Hmm.
How are your grandfather, just your brother? How are the men around you? How do they feel in your presence?
Mm.
And so that was the other thing
Hmm.
is correcting my behavior, how I talk to people. And then the last but not least is just to make sure that when I did come out, I made sure that someone else was able to speak well of me.
Hmm.
Someone else was able to say that she is a lady true
Hmm.
to her character, to the character I was building. You always want a witness of who you are,
Hmm.
and to have the right people. So that I will forever be grateful to Raven. Raven will forever be a part of our story, our marriage story. And I know today is the day for her home going, and I just really appreciate that we was able to stop in the middle of our day and
Hmm.
just release this video for people. But Raven is going to be truly, truly missed.
Yes. She will. So, is that it
That
for
is
this?
it for part one, how I got married, because that's how I met you. I met you because I don't feel like if I would have started working on myself as a character, I would have even been in a position to
Mm.
come to your shop.
Mm.
I don't think so. I wouldn't
Hmm.
have even been on that level of, just leveling up.
Right. So we want to say thank you for tuning in. This is Harold and Delonica with Love and Marriage. And this was an exclusive interview with the boss lady on how she got married to Mr. Ray. So this was really good.
Yes.
I can't wait till the
Part
next
two.
the next interview because
Yes.
um, this will really help people on their journey to
Yes.
marriage.
I
And
hope
so
so.
stay tuned, you guys, for the next segment on love and marriage and how Delonica got married to Mr. Ray. Peace.